All right, everybody, here we go. I am going to be watching Ankalaev versus Pereira. It's on right now. I'll show everybody some highlights as we're going through and give you some insights onto what I have seen throughout the years, having shared even a ring with Pereira over a decade ago. I don't know if we ever fought on another Glory card after Glory Last Man Standing in, I want to say June 2014, but we were both in Glory for a long time, both won Glory titles. He obviously won at 185 and then 205, so impressive. There's no way I was jumping up to 155. So we see Pereira doing his walk-in right now, and I'm just always blown away by this guy. Like, I saw him this morning on his weight cut. I guess that would have been yesterday, so everything's kind of a blur right now because I've been sick, so sick the last couple of days. But yeah, when you see him weigh in, he kind of looks like a bit of a skeleton, and that's him making 205. How did he used to make 185? And now we see him doing this walkout, and he just looks back to normal. Right? Normal size, probably went from 205 to 230 or back to 235, doing his bow, letting the arrow loose on his opponent. He does have a great walkout. I got the announcers, Joe Rogan, in my ear over here, so I can hear what's happening a little bit, but also feed some stuff to you. I'm just most excited to just see what goes down with this fight, because you have Ankalaev, who I've heard many people say is the biggest threat. They're saying he's the biggest threat for Pereira, but I've heard Ankalaev in the past say, oh, you know, I'm not really going to focus on a takedown approach to him. And the first time I watched Ankalaev fight him, like, the dude went the whole time standing up. Didn't look like he was a specialist in wrestling, even though I think they just said he has some sort of Sambo background or something like that. So it'll be very interesting to see what his approach is, because you hear sometimes guys say, like, oh, I'm going to go in and fight this person who's an expert in striking, and I'm going to strike with them. But that seems like the worst possible idea, because for what we've seen, even Israel Adesanya had some success pinning down Pereira and landing some ground and pound. So you think anybody who has more skills than Adesanya, and that must be many at the 205 weight class, considering Adesanya is 185, you'd think they're going to have more success just pinning him, holding him there. But he has proven a hard guy to take down. Very strong, and obviously you have to get past his strikes. So again, needless to say, I'm so excited for this fight. I always love watching the Glory kickboxers in UFC. To me, it's so very interesting. And Pereira, just with that cold stare, he just locks eyes and just follows his opponent around. I feel like the excitement of this is just going to burn through any energy I have left for the day. It was a rough day yesterday. In bed, just laid out anytime I moved. Like, I would walk down 10 steps and then I would have to lay out on the ground just to recover, and I would stay there for like an hour, and then I would crawl up to the couch an hour later, and I would be there for 2 hours and then fall asleep for a while. And that was in between all the illness and running to the washroom. Probably lost 10 pounds. Trying to get that back on now. Very weird. My stomach feels like I just did a weight cut. Felt very similar to a weight cut, aside from the fact that you don't feel great, you feel crazy weak. So let's take a look at these stats here. Pereira, 5 years older, similar height, same weight. We've got a reach advantage of 4 inches for Pereira. Bruce Buffer doing his thing, always got on a jazzy suit top. Pereira, very stoic, expressionless in his corner as always. Ankalaev staying in motion. You know, every fighter has their own way that they deal with things. Some people walk around, some people stare, some people don't make eye contact. Canelo always threw me off because when he comes for the face-off, he never looks his opponent in the eye. Never, ever. And you can't imagine it's anything to do with being scared of his opponent, but my theory, at least, is the fact that if you look at somebody in the eyes and it plays mind games with you, maybe he just tries to avoid that. He just goes, you know what, my skills are good. They're going to outweigh this dude, and there's no point doing any psychological games. There's always lots you can glean and learn through, yes, part of it's speculation, but by watching the best fighters in the world and see what they're doing. I'll be back in 1 second. I'm going to get rid of this little mic here. Go grab a sip of water before the action starts. After being sick, one of the things that you will note, very similar to making weight and having to refuel your body, is even drinking something like that can seem overwhelming. Your stomach just gets filled up so fast. And if you've never cut a substantial amount of weight, the key that you have to remember, and I actually saw this this morning, the UFC gives their fighters, after they make weight, the Performance Institute provides rehydration kits. And they were saying, drink this one drink, and then the next one, the next one, the next one, the next one. They had 5 drinks before they're supposed to start eating food. And I would assume that each of those drinks are instructed. You drink this first one, and you wait a certain amount of time, or you wait until you feel you really want it. So the mistake that many people have made, I've done it once or twice before as well, is we think, okay, I've just made weight and I'm going to chug this whole thing. And you may get maybe to this point here, the halfway point, and right away your body is already feeling satiated a little bit. And then you drink the rest of it, you just get full. You get full very fast. And then you can't take anything in for another half hour. But if you just kind of go, that much, oh, I really want more. That much, okay, I wait a little bit, oh, I really want more. And you get to the bottom of this in the same amount of time you would have taken if you chugged it, but by sipping it, very soon after, again, you're thirsty. And you can work your way through another full thing and start getting food in. So small amounts of food in high consistency, in my experience, and from what I saw this morning with Pereira, is the way to go. So we got the stare down here. Both fighters locked in, touch of gloves. And the thing about watching Pereira is the fight can end quickly. So I got my eyes locked on. Excited to see what happens. It's the 4th title defense for Alex Pereira, they're saying. He's got the southpaw to face. Will that matter? I don't know. So, will Ankalaev shoot for a takedown early on? That'll be the big question. Pereira also has really good calf kicks, especially with that slide up left leg as he just did right there. And that's a danger for the southpaws when they face Pereira. Generally, and he does it again. Generally, it's the right leg when you face orthodox versus orthodox. That's the one you're concerned about. But in this case, because Pereira is so good at that, it might not even be a benefit being in the opposite stance. Ankalaev has yet to throw anything. He's had no offense, takes a 3rd flush calf kick. And you have to assume with Pereira's power 4th one, if he doesn't get going, that leg is going to be shot by the time we get halfway through this first round. Ankalaev is going to have to do something I would suggest not exchanging up at head level. But another calf kick. That one looked like it stung him a little bit, more so that he was lunging in. But Pereira doing a good job. What he's doing is he's actually moving around. He's moving backwards a little bit as well. And then that makes Ankalaev kind of be the aggressor, but that makes it easier for Pereira to land that left calf kick. It draws him in, as opposed to being the one stalking. And Pereira has yet to even throw a hand. Good range control. Nice low kick from Ankalaev there, but it's up to the thigh. And as we all know, the thighs are that much easier to take than the calves because there's so much more muscle protecting the bones and the nerves and everything. Ankalaev looking very happy right now to just exchange. But again, Pereira has not let anything go. That might change as soon as he gets tagged once, if he survives it. This size, like, they're both wearing the same gloves, but I swear Pereira's hands look bigger. They look gigantic, and I've always wondered if hand size is a part of big KO power, just because there's more weight. There's actually going to be more weight coming in. There, Ankalaev successfully defends that calf kick that time, just a little hollow out. He's going to have to start doing that pretty much every time, because his right calf there already has some redness on it. And remember, Ankalaev has had a very interesting situation over this last camp as he was in the Ramadan. Nice spinning hook kick attempt, didn't land from Pereira, but nice try. Ankalaev has had to follow his religion where he's not eating during daylight. That must be so hard in a training camp, which is why most fighters who follow that religion do not compete during the February-March time period. So I don't really know if cardio at this pace that he's fighting Pereira is going to be a big key, but you have to assume it does affect your camp in terms of how hard you can push yourself. But Pereira is not somebody a lot of times that you need that cardio because it's more of a patient fight. But maybe that's what he wants to do, is make it more hectic. But I feel like the only way you're going to successfully do that without getting knocked out is getting a takedown. With about 35 seconds left in round number one, Pereira is winning, but only because he's landed a few calf kicks. There's a takedown attempt from Ankalaev. He's tight, trying to get his hands locked, but unable to because Pereira's back is up against the cage. But he shoved him in there. I feel like this is what he should try and do early in the rounds. Get in there, crush Pereira, stall the fight, and look for that moment where he can take him down, because he can at least win rounds there and minimize his damage. Ankalaev's corner is saying he's much slower than you are. They're saying if he pressures you, circle back, circle around, as he was successfully doing, in my opinion, in the first round, kind of drawing him in for those calf kicks. And they said that leg is already compromised, and I haven't seen him buckle, Ankalaev buckle yet. Like I'm going, okay, it's definitely hurt, but it does not take much for Pereira to hurt somebody, so there is a good possibility that that is very true. Round two. Ankalaev pushing forward faster now, getting right in his face, which is more dangerous. But hopefully he'll work on crushing that space a little bit more if he's not wanting to exchange. See the Pereira, he's got that left hand out there which could just swing into a hook at any time, and his right hand is just below jaw level and ready to go. Just ready to go. Closed, his left hand is open. Very calm. I wonder what the odds are for this fight, going the whole distance. Just anytime Pereira fights now. Nice front kick from Ankalaev. Good job pushing him back there. It's not going to do any damage or anything, but looks good for a moment. Yeah, the commentators were just saying that comment about Pereira being a lot slower than you that he got from his team. He might be a little slower, but I wouldn't say he's a lot slower, because when Pereira lets something fly, it comes quick. And I just don't think all the time he's throwing as fast as he can either. He just doesn't need to. I would just be so interested to know what the game plan of Ankalaev. We know what the game plan of Pereira is going to be overall. Maybe not in the exact detail, but I think by now we could have already figured out for the most part what it is. Whoa, nice cross there and a little step through fake. Switches from southpaw to orthodox. It's interesting that Ankalaev's the one pressuring forward. Pereira's moving back. I feel like this is all part of the game plan. Just waiting for that one shot, that one mistake, that one overcommitment. But we do know, like when Pereira fought Roundtree Jr. in the past, Roundtree was on him and on him and on him, and then it was round 3 or 4 where then Pereira started picking up the pace, then put the pressure on. That's when it got scary for Roundtree. Ooh, that stung him there. Jab cross from Ankalaev. I don't think Pereira's hurt, but that was nice. They're throwing down more now. Now it's getting exciting. So the ego, you get tagged once and then all of a sudden it's like, okay. And the game plan just sometimes eases back a little bit. Oh, Pereira got tagged. I was counter there. Ankalaev looking sharp, but again, it only takes one mistake. Pereira, watch his head. He does not block with his hands. It's so rare for him unless he reaches, which means he gets hit more, but he's very good at moving his head with the shots. But he still gets hit, and it only takes one shot where you do not see it, where you're not able to roll with it, where he's going to get stung. Just a matter of can he land before Ankalaev lands that shot, I guess. They're both just faking from that longer range. Just touching gloves. That's the southpaw orthodox game. Both jabs coming out, connecting. Very often looking for them to overcommit and leave a hole down the middle so you can come with the cross, or fake and then go to the hook off the lead arm. Nice cross from Pereira, but right back from Ankalaev, pushing. There's an Ankalaev round. He gave up the first one, being cautious, but he's taken this one. He looks significantly smaller of the two. He might not be, but he does look it. Oh, he stunned him! He stunned him. Pereira just went wobbly knee there, but saved by the bell. Ooh. Jeez. That was good. Water break. See the replay. Fake, yeah, just because Pereira's hands are out and he has to reach to block. When he does reach, it exposes him. So Ankalaev capitalized there, faked, waited for the hand to come for the block, and then right down the middle. So saying, Pereira, you need to get inside, but he sort of abandoned the backwards movement too. So they probably want him in striking range or want him moving, but not at that longer range where he's not having as much success, and Ankalaev is right now. It's an exciting fight now. Round apiece. Ankalaev is showing he can hurt Pereira, showing that he has a good game plan, but he has not taken a Pereira shot yet. That is the question. It's always going to come down to, can Pereira land that one shot in the next 15 minutes? That's a long time. And he really hasn't let his hands go. And Pereira is just such a star. I mean, the UFC can work with anybody. They're such a big organization. They can work with anybody as champion, but you have to assume that they want Pereira as the champion because he is just that star for them. Pereira now returning to the back and up, drawing him in, landed a calf kick there. Hasn't stopped Ankalaev from being able to bounce yet. He looks very mobile on his legs. Nice jab there. I like how he does his stance switch, Ankalaev, as he moves forward. He doesn't stay in his southpaw stance as he puts the pressure on. He'll actually switch to orthodox. They're saying that something Ankalaev's done successfully is make Pereira retreat. But I don't know if it's that Pereira is having to retreat or choosing to retreat. I feel like it's more the latter. He is choosing to back up, part of a game plan, part of pulling him in. Because I have seen him back up significantly in rounds 1 and 2 in fights. But now that we're in round 3, and when we get to 4, it'll be interesting to see if then he'll start putting the pressure on. Ankalaev goes for a shot, doesn't get it, eats a little bit of a choppy cross as punishment. Shot from quite far out, I felt like there, and I didn't see a big setup. But getting Pereira back to the cage again would seem like a wise choice, even though Ankalaev is winning on the striking. If you look at the whole fight, who's inflicted more damage, it is definitely Ankalaev. So he's winning, but if you can stall out a minute or two, win the fight by crushing the distance, why not? Yeah, they're standing just within punch range, like touching the arms at this bent range. So they're just outside that cross zone, tiny inch forward, and they'll be at that danger point. Nice body shots from both fighters there. Ankalaev has got Pereira now up against the cage, but Pereira spins out nicely. Ooh, nice little takedown there for Pereira. He does the little foot sweep that I'm going to be teaching in my takedown course, which is coming up. But he didn't capitalize and managed to spin him completely down. But little foot tap, beautiful sweep. By the way, that takedown course, tomorrow, Sunday at midnight, doors closed. You cannot get entered. If you want to get into that, now's your time. Link down below. And 1 minute left in this round. gonna finish off this last minute. I'm gonna go get some more water because that sickness just got rid of so many fluids, just so much vomiting. Just keep needing to drink and drink, but my poor stomach just does not want anything more. But all this talking is just parching me. It's good distance control from Ankalaev there, just out of range. They're saying Pereira is having trouble with the pressure. I mean, I feel like him pushing forward would be an easy solution given the fact that he's the bigger fighter. He's the one who's going to have that massive KO power. He's been backpedaling since the beginning, so I still feel like it's a strategy more so than anything, but you have to assume now when you're coming to the end of round 3 and there's 2 left, you're down on the scorecards. It'll be interesting to see what adjustments he makes. Okay, there we go. Round 4 coming up. All right, round number 4. They were just saying Ankalaev is not breathing heavy. He shoots in right away at the beginning. Puts Pereira against the cage side. Oh, Ankalaev tries for a little trip there. He does, like I said, he looks undersized, and I think the strength of Pereira, even though he's not somebody who's a wrestler, he's going to have a good size, he's going to have good balance as a martial artist who's competed at such a high level in so many organizations. So he's not an easy takedown, that's for sure. But Ankalaev doing a good job right now, just grinding in. I don't know if this looks like it might be more fatiguing for Ankalaev than Pereira, though. Dominic Cruz says takedown defense for Potan looking good, but Ankalaev is pressuring him like we have not seen before. Pereira just still stuck up against that cage. That's a minute and a half that he's burnt. Nice left hook on the way out for Ankalaev. He shoots right back in. This is the smart way to fight Pereira right now. The only danger that I would think of at this moment is a little short elbow, but he's burning down time. And he's winning the fight so far. He's winning this round based off what he's doing. Yeah, he's not getting the KO, but if you win the title, it doesn't matter. And Pereira's keeping himself safe, but because he's keeping himself so safe here, he's not getting himself off the cage. You might have to take a risk. Yeah, if Ankalaev can win this round, then he's up. He's up 3-1 and he can't lose unless he gets KO'd. Yeah. Pereira, you can see his head's down there. Oh, the ref steps in, separates them just due to lack of action. But Ankalaev has had success at this point, just now moving straight in and knowing that Pereira will back up to the cage side and then he can pin him there. So we might see him try that again. Alex has a nice right high kick. He's not setting it up, but keeping your left hand high for Ankalaev is smart decision at this point. Yeah, Pereira does look like he's fading. He looks a little fatigued. His shots are looking just a little sluggish now. Yeah, another takedown attempt from Ankalaev. He doesn't get it successfully, but again, he gets Pereira up to the cage and able to hold him there. And only 1:18 left on the clock now. There's a good chance he can burn off at least half of that time, even if he's not inflicting damage. So I would assume this is not the fight that many people thought we were going to get, especially when we've seen that Pereira power. But one of the things that you will learn throughout the years, nice spin attempt there from Pereira, but he doesn't come out on the good side of it. But one of the things you'll learn is that I saw Pereira this morning on the weight cut saying best weight cut ever, most energy I've ever had. And that feeling pre-fight does not always mean you're going to feel that way in the fight or that things don't switch. So the lesson is, if you have something that feels bad, like, oh, that was my worst weight cut ever, or oh, my energy's low, it does not always translate to I'm going to feel like that in the ring. The same way that good energy does not always translate to it's going to be my best fight. Something that I've learned throughout the years, just through trial and error. Sometimes feeling terrible and getting great wins, sometimes feeling great and feeling sloppy and sluggish in the fight. Ten seconds left. Nice takedown from Pereira there. Again, one that I'm focusing on in that takedown course, but too little too late. 1 second more there and he could have got a couple good smashes in or something. They're saying you need to start hitting him. His mission is to take you down. They're saying it could be 2-2, but no, it's 3-1. They're saying that Ankalaev is a little slow, but I don't know about that. But they are saying you got to go for it, and I do agree with that. Pereira has to go for it now. Pereira, the one thing we do know from seeing other fights is he can be down. Terribly down, and he can come back and win late in the fight. He does not quit. He is still dangerous. All right, here we go. The announcers again saying it could be 3-1, could be 2-2. I don't know how you have this as a 2-2. I don't think so. Round 3 was not much happening, but I don't see how Pereira won it. Oh, good cross there from Ankalaev. Again, on the step through. Southpaw, orthodox southpaw lands his cross. Covers good range and changing footwork throws people off. Now Pereira's the one pushing forward a little bit, not backing up. But he's going to have to let his hands go. He's not really throwing. He's waiting. He's waiting. He's in distance where he can throw. And then Ankalaev throws and he backs up. Still waiting. Waiting. Like he's just burnt 15 seconds, not even throwing a shot. There's a nice left hook though. Tried. Not to take away from Pereira in any way, but maybe he doesn't have that type of chin where he can go in and just be like, okay, you know what, I'm going to just throw down and I don't have to worry about getting KO'd, or he's smart enough to just know that's dangerous, I don't know. But you feel like at this point, if he wanted to win, that would be a game plan, because if he touches him, there's a good chance he can finish the fight. Why is he not doing it? Well, maybe he knows that a KO against him is possible. But for somebody who's down, he's throwing very few techniques, waiting a very long time for that perfect shot. Nice high kick. I mean, that switch, they're saying that, you know, he's a little slow, and that left low kick to right high kick, that was fast. But Ankalaev is smart. He's just keeping that left hand as high as it needs to be. He's not blocking with two hands. which would be much safer, but at least he's taking it off one. They're saying Ankalaev should go back to the takedown attempt, go back to the cage, because right now Pereira is winning this round. I don't know if Pereira's landed anything of substance to be like, oh, you're not decisively winning this round. Ankalaev could land one shot and change that very fast, I feel. They're saying that, oh, Ankalaev eats a jab there. It's just 1 second off, and Pereira lands that jab. Now he's going for that takedown attempt. Oh, just pushes him back to the cage side. Oh, there Ankalaev gets to his back. It's going to be hard to hold those hands together, I feel. Yeah, it's already been broken off, but he can land a couple shots on the inside there, keep it here. Does he win it this round? I don't know. Nice back control. Stuck to him tight. Pereira does have good balance. Ankalaev only with 40 seconds left that he needs to survive. Pereira spins it. I'd like to see Ankalaev either get his takedown, land some shots, or just get a couple shots in here, just because, yeah, this fifth round it's very close. Ankalaev eating up that thigh right now with some knees is good, at least getting some scoring in. Just like maybe a quick release and a big hook or something would be a good way to finish, but there we have it. So that's pretty much it now. We're waiting on the scorecards. Yeah, this will be interesting. This will be very interesting because what can I say aside from overall, it really looked like Ankalaev did more damage, landed the bigger shots. If you scored it cumulatively, the whole fight together, Ankalaev wins. But these guys are saying they thought it was very close because rounds 1, Pereira, round 5 they thought was Pereira, and round 3 was up for grabs. Here we go. $49-46. It's got to be Ankalaev. 49-46. Yeah, Ankalaev takes that. Well done.